Dan Mazur considered himself lucky. Most people would have considered him crazy. He stood within a 2-hour hike of the summit of Mount Everest, just 1,000 feet from realizing a lifelong dream. Every year, the fittest adventurers on Earth set their sights on the 29,000-foot peak. Every year, some die in the effort. The top of Everest is known for its inhospitality. Climbers called the realm above 26,000 feet the death zone. Temperatures are below zero. Sudden blizzards stir blinding snow. The atmosphere is oxygen-starved. Corpses dot the mountain top. Just 10 days earlier to Mazur's attempt, a British climber had died there. 40 climbers who could have helped him chose not to do so. They passed him on their way to the summit. Everest can be cruel. Mazur felt lucky. He and his 2 colleagues were within sight of the summit. Years of planning, 6 weeks of climbing, and now it's 7:30 a.m. on May 25th, 2006. They were almost there. The air was still, the morning sun brilliant, energy and hopes were high. That's when a flash of color caught Mazur's eye, a bit of yellow fabric on the ridge top. At first, he thought it was a tent, but moving closer, he saw it was a person, a man, precariously perched on an 8,000-foot-high razor-edge rock. His gloves were off, his jacket unzipped, and his bare chest exposed. Oxygen deprivation can swell the brain and cause climbers to hallucinate. Mazur knew that this man had no idea where he was. He walked slowly toward him. He called out to him, "Can you tell me your name?" "Yes," the man answered, sounding pleased. "I can. My name is Lincoln Hall." Mazur was shocked. He recognized the name. 12 hours earlier, he had heard the news on the radio that Lincoln Hall was dead on the mountain. His team had left his body on the slope, and yet, after spending the night in 20 below zero cold and oxygen-thin air, somehow Lincoln Hall was still alive. Mazur was face to face with a miracle. He was also face to face with a huge choice. A rescue attempt from this altitude had profound risks. The descent would be very treacherous, and it would be even more so with the dead weight of a dying man. And besides, how long would Hall survive? No one knew. The 3 climbers might be sacrificing their goal of reaching the summit of Everest, and all for naught. They had to choose, either to abandon Lincoln Hall there on the mountain or abandon their dream. They chose to abandon their dream. And so the 3 turned their backs on Everest summit and slowly inched their way back down the mountain with the injured man. Well, Lincoln Hall survived the trip back down Mount Everest, thanks to Dan Mazur and his 2 colleagues. Hall lived to be reunited with his wife and his sons in New Zealand. He wrote 2 books about his experience and lived 7 more years. When Dan Mazur was asked about his team abandoning their summit attempt, he said, "The summit will always be there, and we can go back, but Lincoln only has one life." A television reporter asked Lincoln's wife what she thought of the rescuers, the men who surrendered their attempt to reach the summit in order to save her husband's life. After several moments, and with tears filling her eyes, she said, "They are 3 amazing human beings, and the world needs more people like that." Amen to that. None of the 3 ever made it back to Everest, but neither did any of the 3 ever express regret for their decision. I'm Larry Johnson. Until next month, stay well.